Welcome to Storytime with Shelley. Today's tale reminds us that no matter where life takes you, dignity and respect are things no one can take away. Sit back and enjoy the story. It was a bright, sunny morning in the city of Dallas. Jason Taylor, a calm and confident young man, arrived at the Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport. He was flying to New York for an important business meeting. Though his father, Robert Taylor, was a well-known businessman, Jason preferred to keep his background private. He wanted to make his own name and not rely on his father's success. Jason was dressed casually in a neat black hoodie, jeans, and sneakers, and he walked through the airport just like any other passenger. No one paid him much attention, which suited him just fine. But that was about to change. As he boarded his flight with a first-class ticket, Emily Banks, a young flight attendant with a sharp attitude, greeted him coldly at the door. "Your seat is in the back," she said, not even bothering to look at his ticket. Jason frowned and showed her his boarding pass. "Actually, my seat is in first class," he said politely, pointing to seat 1A on the ticket. Emily sighed and rolled her eyes. "Are you sure you can afford this seat?" she asked in a cutting voice. Jason was surprised. "Excuse me," he replied, not sure why she was being so rude. "We don't usually have people like you sitting here," she responded, glancing at him up and down. She further said, "Just because you found this ticket doesn't mean you belong in first class." Jason felt his heart race, but he kept his cool. "I belong here," he said quietly, walking past her. He found his seat, sat down, and took out his phone, hoping that was the end of it. But Emily wasn't done yet. As the plane took off and the passengers settled in, Emily went about serving the other first-class travelers, smiling and chatting with them, but ignoring Jason completely. He tried to stay calm, but he could feel the tension in the air. He noticed the whispers and the quick glances from some of the passengers. It was like Emily had told them something about him. "Can I get some water, please?" Jason asked when she walked by. Emily turned to him slowly, faking a smile. "Maybe later," she said, then walked off. Jason was shocked. He knew something wasn't right, but he didn't want to create a scene. Just as he was about to ask someone else for help, a fellow passenger, Mark Wilson, leaned over and told him, "Hey man, don't worry about her, I've seen her do this before." "Well, let's just say she has her biases." Jason nodded, thankful for the support, but he couldn't figure out why Emily was treating him this way. It was 2024, in a country where he thought everyone was treated equally. Yet here he was, caught in a silent storm of unfair treatment. Throughout the flight, Emily's rude behavior continued. She served drinks to everyone but skipped Jason. Whenever he asked for something, she pretended not to hear or answered rudely. Jason had had enough. Halfway through the flight, he stood up and walked to the front of the plane to ask for the head of customer service. That's when everything started to come apart. Linda Morgan, the head of customer service, came to Jason's seat a few minutes later. She smiled warmly and asked what the problem was. Jason, still calm but clearly frustrated, explained what had been happening. "I've asked multiple times for simple things like water, and each time, I've been ignored or treated rudely by your flight attendant," Jason said. "I don't understand why." Linda's face grew serious. "I'm very sorry about that, Mr. Taylor. I'll handle it right away." When Emily overheard the name Taylor, her face turned pale. She glanced nervously at Jason but quickly looked away, mumbling something like, "It was a misunderstanding." Linda looked puzzled. She told Jason, "Mr. Taylor, I deeply apologize. We'll take care of this immediately." As Linda left, Jason sat back down, trying to calm himself. Just then, his phone buzzed with a message from his father. "Son, I heard what's happening on the flight. I'm handling it." Jason's eyes widened. He hadn't told his father anything, so how did he know? And how was he fixing it? Moments later, Emily returned with a pale and shaky face. She told Jason, "I'm sorry, Mr. Taylor, I didn't realize." Before she could finish, the pilot's voice echoed over the intercom. "Ladies and gentlemen, we apologize for any inconvenience. We've been informed of a customer service issue and are working to resolve it. Thank you for your patience." Jason glanced around, confused. What had his father done? As the plane descended toward New York, the atmosphere on board had changed. Emily, who had been so rude before, now looked embarrassed and scared. She avoided Jason's gaze, and when the plane landed, she disappeared quickly before most passengers could leave. Once Jason got off the plane, he was met by two staff members from Stratus Airways, the airline his father owned. They led him to a private lounge where he was met by Linda and the airline's CEO, his father, Robert Taylor. "Son," Robert said, shaking his head, "I've dealt with the situation. Emily has been removed from duty." Jason sighed. "Dad, I didn't want special treatment. I just wanted to be treated with respect like anyone else." "I know, son," Robert said softly, "but sometimes, people need a wake-up call." He paused, looking at Jason with pride. "You've made your own way in life, and no one has the right to treat you any less." Jason nodded, feeling the weight of his father's words. He realized that there would always be people like Emily, those who judge others without knowing their story. But what mattered most was how he responded to Emily's rude behavior. As Jason left the airport, he thought about Emily's reaction when she learned who he was. He hoped she had learned something from this, but he knew the lesson wasn't just for her. It was about standing up for what was right, no matter who you were. And with that, Jason left, not just as the son of a wealthy man, but as someone who had learned that dignity and respect were things no one could take from him, no matter what. Thank you for watching till the end. I hope you enjoyed this story. If you did, don't hesitate to like the video and share it with your friends too. Subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell for more fascinating stories. Have a nice day.